Get ready with me while I accept this invitation to New York Fashion Week. So this is what I'm wearing. It'll look like all put together once I put my accessories on, my shoes, my press-ons. But right now we're gonna do our makeup and like tighten up this hair. But let's talk about something because this is tomorrow. Tomorrow, September 15th, is my 13-year anniversary from moving from my home city. And I know most people like, who cares? I do. So, and the people who are thinking about moving and like, should I do it? Does it make sense? How can I survive? Da, 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 da. This is for them. So if you don't care, you can just like scroll past the video. That's not a problem at all. Now, to the people who care, I don't know why I just wiped my eyebrows off, but I guess we're going to do a restart on it. 15 years ago, 13 years ago today, on the 15th, I left Chicago, headed to Miami. Wow. I didn't have no money. I didn't have no savings. I didn't know anybody in Miami. I literally had been there twice. And my spirit said, we're moving there. And I said, yes, we are. And when I tell you that when I first moved to Miami, first of all, it was a bunch of resistance trying to get there because I was supposed to be transferred with my, at the time, job. But my hater of a manager wrote me up, which canceled my transfer, which then made me have to figure it all out again. And what hit me was like, because the transfer didn't go through, and that was why I was going to move at first. But what hit me was like, if you still want to do this, you don't need nobody to invite you, Smelly. You just need to do it. And so with that in mind, I was like, you know what? That's right. We're doing this. And so I first started going to interviews to try to move with the job. That didn't work. Well, when I went to an interview, the last time I went to an interview, I flew out of town. It looked like it was well. I told them that I was flying in so that they can like prioritize, or you know, if they're interested, let's meet a few times. Went up the corporate ladder, went up the ladder. Turns out they didn't offer me the role, whatever. So then I had to ask myself, are you doing this or are you doing this? And I came with the conclusion that I am doing this. And when I was there, I was so poor. I literally, my meals would be planned around what's on sale at CVS and Walgreens. The buy one, get one. That's how poor I was. I was like literally rotating my meals based on buy one, get one options. But I was so freaking happy because I was doing what I wanted to do. I was doing what made me happy and what made me feel like, wow, this is your life. And so I would just wake up, go to the beach, live my best life. And I was like, I cannot believe you live in Miami. So in the process, I leased an apartment. Was it for 3 months? I guess so. I leased an apartment off Craigslist. This girl had a room in her apartment and it had its own entrance. I gave the money for that. I don't even know how I was paying my rent. Maybe I had just enough and I paid her in advance or something. But I said, you didn't come here to be a permanent beach bum. You didn't come here to have a permanent roommate. You came here to do your thing, and I'm giving you 3 months to prove it to me. Maybe September 15th, December 1st, I had a new place, walking distance from my new job in my apartment, right? So that happened. Spent 11 years in Miami, living my best life, what I thought I was living my best life. But what I didn't realize is I was complacent. I was extremely complacent, didn't know it, didn't even, like it hadn't even processed in my mind until God tapped me on my shoulder and said, okay, now it's time we're moving to New York. And I've been in New York for a year and a few months. I moved here June 1st. And when I tell you that it felt like New York was waiting on me, I hear what everybody else is saying. I hear somebody said, life is hard, but New York is harder. And I'm just like, I don't know that version. I don't know that story. But I think it's because, not from an insensitive place, it's because God told me to come here. And so anywhere He sends you, you're already covered. It doesn't matter what everybody else is saying. It doesn't matter what the internet has to say about how expensive New York is. I had a friend tell me, "Oh my God, it's so expensive." And I said, and God know how expensive it is, and He ain't no budget, so why I gotta be concerned about that? And that was my real truth. That doesn't mean I wasn't scared. That doesn't mean I was like, I got it covered, because I didn't. The first year here, I made little to no, this has been my first year here, just to be clear. But I made little to no income. I didn't have a job. Block was my job. My business is my job. But God provided. He provided. It was close. It was hard. The whole process was close and hard. Even in Miami, there were times I've gotten eviction notices. There were times, like at least once a quarter, I got an eviction notice. Not the whole 11 years, clearly, but still. Because I had a job, I worked at hotels in Miami. But what I'm really trying to say is, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm so excited that I made the move and I invested in myself. And when I tell you that God has been blessing me, doors have been open, relationships have been happening, and literally, I'm getting dressed because a friend invited me to Fashion Week. And I told her, no, thank you, like a fashion show. And then she texted me back like, Smella, I think you really need to be here. So, and she was like, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but I feel like God is telling me to tell you that you need to be here. And so guess what your girl is doing? Getting dressed to go. So I'll keep you guys posted. But I wouldn't change a thing about my time leaving Chicago. It was like one of the best decisions, one of the best gifts I gave myself, because I just had the opportunity to discover who I want to be, what I want out of life, what I decided, who I want to, like, what type of friends, what type of lifestyle. And every time I moved from one to the next, I have leveled up. Every single time. When somebody leave my life, they're not going to find me the same way that they left me in. It's just not a thing. It has not been a thing. And now that I understand what greatness could look like, what it feels like, what it tastes like, what it takes to get done, what's up? So, you just got to do what you got to do, babe. You got to do what you got to do. You got to take the risk. It's safer to stay in your hometown. It's safer to stay around family. It's safer to do the same job. It's safer to have a great paycheck, because I definitely miss direct deposits. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I feel so free. I feel liberated. I feel like more people need to know about this. Hence me turning on my camera, because I believe, because I betted on me the first time around, God was like, okay, I can work with this. But then every time I made another move, I consulted God. And then I wasn't really making moves until He tapped me on the shoulder. And then when He tapped me on the shoulder, I wasn't disobedient. I wasn't saying like, I don't want to do it. I did say I don't want to do it or whatever. I expressed my feelings to Him, because God do leave space for you to have an opinion. But once we wrestled back and forth, and I'm like, God, I'm nervous, I'm scared. He was like, I got you. And when I tell you that He has gotten me, so much so that the apartment that I'm talking to you from is an upgrade. And guess what happened? This upgrade happened exactly 1 year after me touching down in New York. And when I first got here, all I had was a 30-day rental from Airbnb in a brownstone. And so, if God is calling you to it, don't sleep on Him, because He can bring you through it. He don't play about me. He ain't gonna play about you if you ain't gonna play about Him. So, you know what I mean? Like moving, a fresh start is amazing. And the reason why most people who do it win is because one key that you have to do outside of making God your number one bestie is actively build the life you are desiring. Because it's not just going to come hunt you down if you don't put yourself in a position, show up, go to the places. And so because I show up, because I go places, because I make friends, because I'm friendly, because I dress loud and bold, because just who I am, people come to me. The people who also dress loud and bold come to me. Like, we naturally see each other. But I have literally feel like I've quantum leaped. I'm not exaggerating. I've quantum leaped over the last 15 months of being in New York. And I didn't do it because Smell is so awesome. I did it because the alignment with God. And He sent me here. And now He's calling me to eat an elephant. And the African proverbs say the best way to eat an elephant is one piece at a time. And then I heard Ayana Benzine or something like that say, and don't start at the butt. You know, but this, I would do it, but this, I would do it, but this. No. If you're doing it, if you say you want this life and you move, you shut down this and you close this and you do all this, the only thing now is you got to show up and actually go after the life. You have to go put yourself in a situation. You have to go find the friends. You have to go find the relationship. You have to go find the job. You have to go find whatever it is. And once you show up for you, God then naturally gives it to you, because things have been knocking on my door. Literally knocking on my door, not like my actual front door because you don't have my address, but on my door as in opportunities have been hunting me down in ways that I wouldn't have even known to do. I had this lady, I'm a program director at this company that teaches entrepreneurship to high schoolers and youth. Well, she told me, she said, I was just sitting here one day and your name came in my mind. And I went to look you up on LinkedIn and I was like, oh my gosh, she's in Brooklyn. So apparently somebody introduced us many moons ago. I don't recall. I haven't fully sat down and tried to jog my memory to like fact check this or whatever. But she said my name dropped in her mind. And she went and looked me up on LinkedIn. And she was like, oh my gosh, she's in Brooklyn. And then I started out as an entrepreneur teacher in residence with her. And now because she 4X'd her business over the summertime, I am now the program director to teach entrepreneurship in Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan. What? Because I showed up. Because I was showing up online. She was able to see that I have a profile. My profile is up to date. You see, this is why it matters. People be like, I don't feel like doing content. That's fine. You can not feel like doing content, but you can also not feel like opportunities finding you, because only way that opportunities, the old school way, how about this? Let me say that. The old school way of getting access to opportunities is the one-to-one. What's that? People say, oh my God, Samela, you're awesome, when they're in my presence, because they see that I am truly awesome. I do believe I'm awesome. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just saying. But neither here nor there. They say, fill in the blank, your name, you're awesome, when you guys are one-to-one, right? Of course you know you're awesome. You know, you woke up like that. But what about the one-to-many strategy, where people engage with your content, your blog, your podcast, your whatever, and now you got the opportunity for multiple people to say, oh my God, you're awesome. What about that? That's the moment of truth, and that's the moment that matters, and that's the moment that you can start scaling. Had I not been on LinkedIn, had an updated profile, I wouldn't be a program director today. And so I'm almost done with my makeup. I like to keep it cute, light, minimum, and I'll be doing all that stuff. Eventually I'll get there, but I'm not there now. So I'm gonna let you guys go because I still gotta do my nails. But I just wanted to turn on the camera and say I'm about to be 13 years of leaving on tomorrow, which is the 15th. And I have been nothing but blessed. It's been hard. It's been painful. It's been amazing. It's been fulfilling. I've had people tell me that they have deepened their relationship with God because my relationship with God and how they see that He's just, they like anything you want, you just got to ask for it, smell it. And literally, people say this to me, and I'm like, but guess what? God don't got no stepkids. So anything you want, you just ask for it and God will make it happen. So I love you. I trust that you know what's next. And if you don't, fasting was my best way. And I have a free ebook on how to fast, right? To tune in to God. What are you saying to me? What does this mean? What do you want from me? Every time before I did a big move or a big anything, I fasted beforehand. And it literally, he downloads things. And I'm also hosting a free masterclass at the end of this month to help people mind their kingdom business so that you can stop hiding, babe. You can stop using the old school one-to-one way to build your community, and so that you can get out of your way and start shining and living the life that you know that you pray for. You know that your heart is calling you to, but you're too scared to do. It's okay. We've all been there. But we're not playing small no more. We're about to walk into 2026. This is not the time to play small. This is a wealth transfer. We're standing in staring at a wealth transfer, and it's anybody's game. I'm winning. I'm going to win. I'm going to win big. And so I would like to hope that I'm going to see you at the top. I love you, babe. Be great. Bye.